With the idea that Brock Purdy is currently the favorite to win the MVP, do you Niner fans even think he's the 49ers MVP? Casey in Richmond here on Willard and Dibs. Hi, Casey. What's up?
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Good. I just wanted to share that I think my 49ers MVP would be Trent Williams.
Okay.
Appreciate
that. Was
that.
very efficient. That was a very efficient
Quick
phone
to the
call.
point.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean,
do you agree? You've said it before.
I would say, for me, overall team MVP, it would come down to Trent Williams or Fred Warner. Because Fred Warner has been the rock. He's been the mainstay of the defense. Nick Bosa, the last 4 or 5 games, has gotten back to DPOY levels. Maybe not coincidentally when Chase Young joined the fray. Fred and maybe Charvarius Ward would be up there. Brock would be up there too. Brock has been spectacular. I don't want to make him an also receiving votes guy, but I do think what Trent Williams provides in many, many ways makes him the most valuable Niner.
Well, it's interesting because, Brock's salary is in many ways what allows all of this to be, where we could have a fair conversation where there's 6 different answers. When would you start laughing? If I started throwing out individuals answering this question. If I said Purdy, would you laugh?
No.
McCaffrey?
No, it's a very serious conversation.
Thank you. Trent?
No.
Fred?
No.
Nick?
No.
Debo?
I don't know. I want to laugh.
Okay. Or when would you vehemently disagree?
We're at that point. And I would probably put Brandon Ayuk ahead of Debo.
Okay.
It's recency bias. Debo's coming off the game of his life, but Ayuk has been more of a consistent performer.
But I'd argue it's not just because Debo's coming off the game of his life, but the only hesitation people even seem to have about Brock being the MVP is because of how the 49ers look for the 3 games when Debo and Trent were out.
Right.
So that has to mean something. Debo is a little bit of a security blanket.
For
right?
sure. And also, he gives them, beyond being a security blanket, he gives them so much in terms of scheme and design and sleight of hand. Being able to put him in the backfield, put him in motion, and do all the fun things with the eye candy that you do with Debo makes the offense go. And when you didn't have Debo, all of a sudden that pre-snap motion, the defense can laugh at that.
Totally, and they had the lead.
Right.
Whether is that coincidental? I don't know. The odd thing through those 3 weeks is that while everyone's like, oh, look what the offense did without those 2 guys. Well, the defense was fully healthy and looked terrible, I thought, when compared with who they normally are.
Right.
Why? What the hell was going on there?
Steve Wilkes was in the booth.
I mean, at least the offense had a reason. The offense, to me, had a reason, which was, A, you're missing 2 important players. B, McCaffrey had the fumbles, right? And then C, you fell behind in these football games, which puts the Niners in a disadvantageous position that they are maybe, arguably, uniquely unable to handle. It's so against their format that it obviously put the whole thing off script. I think it was just the 2 games for the defense. They were really good against Cleveland. And were they?
Well, they only gave up 215 yards. And
yeah, but keep in mind what was going on there. P.J. Walker's the opposing QB.
Right. They had trouble stopping the run.
The Browns ran the ball.
They did.
And the Niners got the lead late, and P.J. Walker conducted a game-winning drive. Now, so did Brock, and they missed the field goal. But, I don't know, the Niner defense, I know, when you're up 17-16 with 3 minutes to go and you hand P.J. Walker the ball in rain, that defense is stopping that dude. You're stopping that drive. And they didn't.
Yeah, I mean, the field goal. But, yeah, you're right. And it was, I'm looking at it now, minute 13 to go from their own 26 down to the 11. And there were penalties in there. And, that basically, that was the undoing. And it was P.J. Walker. So I think of the 3 losses, that was their better game,
I guess,
defensively. But, yeah, that's a good point. And, the run game, no Nick Chubb. It was, a lot of Kareem Hunt and Jerome Ford. Yeah,
Kareem Hunt. So, I don't know. I don't know what the hell happened those 3 weeks. I don't know what the hell happened. I'm just glad that they've sort of proven that it was a mirage or they've figured it out. But I hear what everyone's saying. Obviously, I think you all know what my answer would be, and I do look at it this way. For me, it's very, very simple. The 49ers can be a lesser version of themselves if any of those 6 to 8 individuals are out of the game. Absolutely. They'll be a lesser version of themselves. But if there's one that I could protect, it would be the quarterback. 100%. I just think, and I also think sometimes some of the fans of this team have romanticized because of the story of how it came to be. Beating out Trey Lance for the job, Kyle Shanahan talking him up, signing him 2 minutes into free agency. All they did with Sam Darnold. We've romanticized what the team would look like with Sam without having any idea what it would actually look like.
We can't possibly know.
No.
We haven't seen it.
And hopefully we never will.
We can base it on what we have seen in practice, and you and I have been out there a few times, and we've seen it, and he looks better than we thought that he would look. I can speak for myself. He looks better than I thought he would look. He looked better than Trey Lance. He looked better than Brandon Allen. And I didn't see Brock Purdy in practice because he was not yet able to go when we were down there. And I thought Sam Darnold was the best quarterback, Brandon Allen second, in terms of the camp that we saw in the OTAs and whatnot. And then you've seen him basically take a knee and hand the ball off for the most part in mop-up duty. So we don't know how he would look. I think he would look pretty good, though, because of the scheme and the players around him.
I think, listen, would it be a viable NFL team? Yeah. Would it look like this? I don't think it would look anything like this.
I don't think it would look like this.
I don't think it would look like anything
What would look like this? I mean, this looks as good as any offense in football right now.
Another really, really good quarterback.
Well, even at that, if you took any other quarterback in football and dropped them into this system, they probably wouldn't look as good as Brock right now because Brock's been in the system now for more than a year. The offense has been with Brock. It would take some time for Mahomes and Allen and whoever else you want to throw into this conversation, even Tua, who runs a somewhat of a similar system. It would take him some time. It would take them time with a lefty to figure out, how everyone's going to fit in.
Yeah. I do agree that there's the likelihood that anyone you drop in there would look better than they look wherever they are now. I mean, outside of a few teams.
Right.
I don't know if Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes would look any better. I don't know how you can. But Kyle Shanahan has always made the quarterback look better. I understand that.
Yeah.
But you also, I'm sorry, I don't make the rules. You get credit for that. I don't know what this is. This whole dynamic that's been built in the NFL where we get to decide, we're going to pick and choose when a player who's playing well and produces, when they get credit for it or when they don't. I don't even know how to do that.
Well, we all play God as fans. This is what we decide.
Like, do we want, if you don't want Brock Purdy to be the MVP, do you also want to take Matt Ryan's away?
No, Matt Ryan gets it.
Why?
He had a very historic season. I ran down the list of best quarterback ratings in NFL history, and he had one of them.
I know, because Kyle Shanahan was with him, right?
Well, he was carrying Kyle Shanahan.
Oh, he was?
Yeah. I mean, he was holding Kyle's hand.
Who carried who between Kyle and Matt Schaub?
Oh, that was all Schaub.
Who carried who between Kyle and RG3 Rookie of the Year?
RG3? Are you kidding me? He turned out to be a fantastic pro.
Who carried who between Jimmy Garoppolo and Kyle Shanahan?
Oh, that was all Kyle.
Okay.
That was all Kyle. Not taking it that far.
I mean, I knew I could get you on that one. Let's go to Wayne in Alameda. Hi, Wayne. What are you doing?
Hey, listen, you guys are all wrong on this. Purdy is the man. If you take this exact same team and you plug in Jimmy G, you think they beat Philadelphia? You think they're where they're at now? It's not. You can replace any other player, but if you put Jimmy G with his exact same team, you'd get different results. My other take, is it just me, or is Dre Greenlaw turning into the next Draymond Green? Love the dude, but he's starting to scare me.
Yeah, Wayne, thanks. Your phone's a little wonky there. And I guess my response back to you is when you say, you guys are all wrong, and then you spit out literally my exact same take, I get confused. Yeah, I totally agree with you. And I think I've been saying it for, I don't know, like 7 months?
Long time, yeah.
Yeah, like 7 months. So thank you. I think it's a very fair take, and we'll get to the Draymond Greenlaw thing here here in just a second. And no, you're not the only one thinking it. It's literally a meme on the internet.
Right.
But yes, Brock Purdy, not only MVP of the league, MVP of the team. And if you don't want to hear it from me, there's a real easy way to do this. Ask them. Fred Warner has been saying since the moment they beat Dallas in the playoffs, there's been a phrase. Have you noticed how many times he's reused it? Every time he has a good game, someone catches up with him on the field right after the game, he'll go, Brock's the reason. Brock's the reason we have a chance. Or Brock's the reason we're here. Over and over. Trent Williams does it. Now,
but Trent's not going to say I'm the reason.
No, but
he's a humble guy.
No, and largely I get that they're responding that way because that's where the question is coming from.
Right.
No one's like, do you like McCaffrey as a teammate? Like, no one's doing that. So I understand. I really understand. But these guys have been trying to beat the drum all along because they know, especially if you are a complimentary player. And I would argue that in the NFL, for instance, when you're a running back, when you're a wide receiver, you're a complimentary player. You cannot function if the offense is not functioning as a whole. So the run game doesn't work if Brock's not throwing. And the passing game doesn't work if Brock's not throwing. Deebo Samuel was the latest to say it. He went on with Kay Adams this week, and he's like, Brock is the runaway MVP. I understand teammates are holding up for teammates, but I just feel like we hear from them. If you let them take the lead, they'll tell you they understand that this is football, and it starts with the QB.
Right.
And you can't really go anywhere without him. And it surprises me sometimes that this fan base needs that reminder because we know it better than anyone.
Well, you don't need the reminder, but you realize that when you don't have other complementary pieces, then the quarterback doesn't perform as well. And when the quarterback doesn't perform as well and you lose games, you look at reasons why you lost games and you look at players maybe who weren't there in those games and you think, you're 0-2 when Trent Williams doesn't play, and that's a thing. And so maybe the left tackle is a pretty important piece in making Brock Purdy be able to play as well as Brock Purdy does.